Do you know that thing about these two questions? And they say, what movie you're in?
Yes.
And who is the script writer?
Yes. Yeah. So that's a way, that's a way of looking at your life. We are all playing roles in our own lives and other people's lives. And the thing is, you can have a very decent life, a decent career, playing roles in other people's lives. The caring mother, the supporting friend, the star employee, whatever roles that we have played, and many of us do that. The thing is, you can leave yourself, you can leave your own movie and just concentrate on those roles that they're doing. And the end of your life, they give you a lifetime achievement award for being a supporting actor in everybody else's film. You don't ever get to write your own script, or you don't ever spend the time or effort to think about what your script is going to be. And a lot of that has to do with many of us do. We feel fearful, afraid of consequences. You're in a nice safe zone. Somebody else gives you the lines to speak and you speak them. You're good at what you do, so those lines come out beautifully. And so you're liked and you're in demand, and it creates that whole rebounded people pleaser thing. The more you praise me, the more I'll do the things that you praise me for. So that behavior gets repeated. And what happens really is that behind the screen, when the cameras are not rolling, if the cameras in your life are not rolling, you're actually being controlled by fear. And that fear is stopping you from doing what really you want to do. And, we have this sense of alignment in ourselves. There are three decision-making centers in our body. There's the gut, the heart, and the brain. And the gut, or instinct, these are non-verbal. So you feel them, excitement, fear, whatever. And if they're not in alignment with what your head is doing, you're never going to achieve anything fulfilling, anything that actually fulfills you personally, your soul, whatever. So when you convert it from this kind of language to, a career, a relationship, whatever you want to think of, whatever context you want to think of, what ends up happening is that we spend our lives, working in other people's stories.
Yes. And how do we change that shift? How do we shift from being somebody else's kind of secondary role or background role into becoming the protagonist of our own movie?
Yeah, that's a very good question and a tricky one. The thing is, so, if you imagine this thing, what is it that is stopping us to doing it? It won't work out. I won't be able to handle it. What if something bad happens? Maybe I'm not capable of doing it. I don't know how to do it. It's easier to let someone else tell me what to do. And the thing, that is that sort of thing, in a way what you're doing is you're sitting inside a room on a nice sunny day and not going out because it might rain tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the way I like to think of it, I've had enough falls and bruises in my life to know that it's not that easy to do. But the way I like to think about it is, you go out, you do the best you can while the sun is shining, and if it starts raining, you learn to cope with it because you understand that there are these things called umbrellas, or there's this thing called a raincoat, or maybe you can find shelter there for for a moment.
Maybe you discover that you're a pubophile and you actually like rain.
Exactly. And you might discover, running away from the rain, you might discover some beautiful spot which becomes the place where you go to take photographs or meditate or paint or whatever. The thing is, until we start moving, we don't know what opportunities will come to us, because sitting in a room, nothing will happen.
Exactly.
What will happen is will be dictated only inside the room, and that is somebody coming in and saying, hey, can you help me with this? Here's your line I want you to do. I want you to play the role of my best friend in my movie. And that's what you end up doing.
So the bottom line is, be open to possibility, be brave, go out there, enjoy the sun, enjoy the rain, and discover new opportunities and places.
It's not even about being brave. It's just go out. Because most of the time, the things that we are afraid of never happen. Our imaginations are not good enough to put together all the horrible things in the world that can happen. But because we focus on one or two of them, what happens is that we block out all the wonderful things that can happen. concentrating on those things, making our decisions on the fear of 2 or 3 consequences that we can imagine and we can project forward, means has 2 disadvantages really. One is that there's no way we can understand all the things that can go wrong, so we're not prepared for the future that way. We can't plan completely for that. And the second thing is that we also ignore all the wonderful possibilities that can happen. So you're essentially living in a sort of
in your head,
in a scene that you have painted yourself and you believe is real.
So we have to make it real.
Yes, which is by actually doing stuff, going out and not worrying about whatever happens, because whatever happens, you will probably cope with it much better then than you imagine how you might do it now.
Oh, that's wonderful. Very good tip. Thank you. All day we're doing brainstorming about self-development and self-improvement and awareness and business and how to become the best version of yourself. And this is the elementary thing that everyone should know, that everyone who goes in a business or even, anything, being a businessman, a relationship, being a mother or a father or anything.
Yeah, living arrangement, whatever. Yes, yeah. So the idea that we were talking about, the idea was that you have some things, you have a very good situation, which is fine, which is brilliant. And you have a terrible situation, which is awful, and that motivates you to do something. The trickiest part is somewhere in the middle where it's not that bad. It's bad, but it's not that bad that it actually forces you to change. So we start making adaptations. We start compromising things. It's a work situation. You might put up with something that is, say, rude behavior or something that might not be entirely illegal, but slightly against your values.
Uncomfortable as well.
Makes you feel uncomfortable ethically. In a relationship, it'd be the small habits that you would ignore or accept, or the small insults or the small, you make compromises because everybody has to make compromises. Yes. So this thing is a very tricky trap, because your brain, because you're in that situation, it's not awful. Your brain is constantly asking you to make do, to settle, to compromise, to adjust, because that's what good people do. Yeah. They, adapt themselves to other people in the situation. So this is the tricky part, because you are actually doing what you're supposed to be doing. Giving space to other people. You're looking at your own actions and saying, well, maybe I could have expressed myself better. Maybe I shouldn't have lost my temper. And that allows the other party, the other person, or the situation, living arrangement, job, whatever it is, it allows that to continue doing.
Or overstepping your boundaries. Yeah. So you end up in a comfort zone that doesn't take you out.
Yeah, and actually it's a kind of uncomfortable comfort zone. It's familiarity more than comfort zone. It's not that you like it, but it's not bad enough that you can get out of it. And if we recognize that, if we are able to see things as they are rather than filtering them constantly, then there's a chance that we can first of all improve our situation, find another job, find a different relationship, find a different place to live, whatever that is. But also then that stepping out of that familiarity zone means that the world opens up to us. Yes. We're not sort of, making do with second best anymore.
You come out of your shell, of your cocoon, and become a beautiful butterfly.
That's a very good way to put it. The cocoon image is a very good way to put it.
So most of the time, your comfort zone is actually not the best thing for you, because you're not reaching your potential. You're not being the best version of yourself, because you're in a comfort zone and it's good enough.
Yeah, and you're putting up with it.
Yes.
And you're putting up.